All right, hello. Welcome to Pokemon Red. My name's Konception2, back again for another run in this awesome marathon, and I do have a commentator with me if you would like to introduce
Hi
yourself.
guys, I'm Pinkish Princess. I also run this game, but I'm gonna be commentating.
Yeah, terrific. This is a really fun game. I'm sure many of you have played it, or at least some version of it. We're going to be doing any percent glitchless, so there's not going to be any real glitches in the game, but that doesn't mean we're not going to go fast. We did have some incentives going up as well. So our first one was for naming the rival, which if we want to plug it for just a minute to get that last minute donation in, that's great, but we do have to close that once before I start the game here.
Let me just take a quick look here just to make sure. But our rival name is Larry.
Sticking with Larry. All right, Larry it is.
Nice.
All right, very good. We like Larry. Well, actually, we're not gonna like Larry in this case, but we're gonna make it work. All right, so we'll get started here in just a second. Just get my timer ready, and then we will be good to go. Like to see how fast I'm going, what kind of pace I'm on myself.
Yeah, and throughout this run, the flyer name is still up for grabs, so if you want to snipe that, the runner will take some time to name that Pokemon later on.
Yeah, we still have about, I would say, a good 13 minutes into the run is probably when we'll lock that down. So you got your time, start thinking about some clever names. It's anyone's game at this point, so. All right, so we got our settings, and time is gonna start. 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck, have fun.
Thank you. All right, so we're first gonna name us and our rival. So us is gonna be just a one character name here.
So
that's gonna be very important.
The text displays at the game runs at 60 frames per second, approximately, not exactly. And the text prints at a rate of 1 character per frame. Nice job naming your rival A.
Oh boy, did I? Well, that's an easy fix. We didn't get very far. That is just completely habitual. Larry is what we're going for.
Usually you would name the rival A as well, just to save those frames, because every time that your name prints, which is many times during the run, having a one character name versus like an actual name actually saves minutes. It's pretty crazy.
Well, we get to say hi to Oak again. Get to see this Nidorino again. Yeah, that's so funny. That was completely that's just habit. All right, Larry is what we're going for. There we go.
Good job, man.
First obstacle down.
So the intro is pretty mindless aside from naming rival in this case. You do it so many times that it's just muscle memory. It's a force of habit, you just mash through it. He's grabbing the potion here because the first rival fight, in a personal best attempt you would not grab that potion, but since he really wants to not die, essentially, he has to get it because rival 1 is about 10% to kill you, a little bit less than that. And if he does, the backup takes like 3 minutes. It's really, really bad. So you'd rather shell out like 5 seconds to get the potion.
Definitely makes it safer, even faster than saving. So, we'll take it.
Now it's just, well, more mashing for a little while. So he...
Obviously, Squirtle's our choice, yeah.
Out of the 3 starters, Squirtle has the easiest time with Brock because he learns a water move at level 8. Bulbasaur doesn't learn Vine Whip, which would also be super effective against Brock, until level 13, 5 levels later. And Charmander doesn't even learn a move that's good against Brock. So Squirtle's just the obvious choice.
Yeah, plus we get some HM use out of him in the later parts of the run. Alright, Larry, let's see what you give me.
So this fight is just... It's pretty unfortunate in that it's highly variant, and he can just make it... The Bulbasaur can just make it go really slowly if he wants to. What Conception just got you don't want to see. Growl lowers your attack. At that point, at best, you're looking at maybe a 5-shot, but usually closer to like a 7 or 8. And the more growls, the less damage you do, obviously. 2 growl.
Yeah, which we got double growl, and then I got a tackle miss, so that's wonderful.
Yeah, tackle is only 94.5% accurate, but it sure doesn't feel that way a lot of the time. Wow, you're
sure does not.
You're getting quite the unfortunate fight.
Yeah, it's another tackle miss. Wonderful.
Okay, also you saw that one of Bulbasaur's growls failed. In this game, NPC status moves have an added 1 in 4 chance to fail. So growl, which is supposed to be 100% accurate, is actually 75% accurate. Also nice, you got 6 growls.
Yeah, so I'm max growled at this point because now if he tries to use growl, it's just gonna say nothing happened.
Yep.
Which means that I cannot be removed any lower.
Yeah, the most in this game and in all Pokemon games, your stats can go up or down is 6 stages. So he had to hit 6 rails. That was an extremely unfortunate fight, far below average.
Yeah, far below. I would have reset if it was a PB attempt. But what are you gonna do?
You didn't have to use your potion.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So now you're just, at this point, he's just sort of trudging up and down Route 1. Each tile has about a 10% chance to get an encounter. You actually want 1 encounter, but 1 encounter.
Yeah.
So that's a good one.
We got one pretty early. Yeah, rat's good. We can get Pidgeys here as well. We could... Basically, we're looking for anything that's level 2 or a level 3 rat. We could use a level 3 Pidgey if we wanted to. It's just gonna make it a little bit worse for us.
Nice tackle miss again.
Though this rat is not making it very good for us either. So
yeah, he actually hit him 3 times, which is 1 and 2 each time. Conception's getting really unlucky already.
Yeah.
So he gets that little bit of experience because Squirtle doesn't learn Bubble until level 8, and there's 1 mandatory fight between now and Brock, and you're actually, if I recall correctly, about 10 experience off of that fight from getting level 8. You get level 7 instead.
Yeah, real close.
Now it's the parcel, you trudge back down. Big wall of text coming up for like just another minute of mashing essentially. The early game's sort of it's just sort of a slog. Once you get past Route 1, it's a lot more interesting.
Didn't hit one coming back down, which is always nice.
Ooh, this is fun tech. So he talks to Oak from the left here, which seems counterintuitive, because he had to take extra steps to get there. But the camera is focused around the character at 5... It's like a square, a 5-tile radius from your character to the edge of the screen, essentially. And your character walks at 17 frames per step, and your rival walks at 34 frames per step. So you take extra steps, so your rival takes less steps, and it actually saves about half a second.
Yeah, and like Pink, there's actually another strat that some people use as well, where instead of talking to Oak from the left, you can actually talk to him from behind, because it makes it so that the rival has to walk even less, but you do have to walk more to get there, and it's roughly the same. I think there's like frames difference. Oh yeah. Wow, okay. I thought maybe there was like a couple frames different, but yeah, exactly the same to the frame.
In Pokemon Yellow, you have to go behind him because Pikachu will take up a spot, but in this game, it doesn't matter. That's your 3rd encounter. On average, you get, if I recall correctly, about 3.5 encounters, but you can't get 3.5 encounters, so between 3 and 4, it seems pretty fair. He got 3. That's
not too bad. I was hoping for less with such a bad rival fight, but what are you gonna do?
Never thought I'd learn so much about Pokemon.
Now, typically, so we're gonna need 3 Pokeballs total. I'm actually gonna buy 4 just in case things go a little bit awry. But we need to catch 3 Pokemon here.
And here's the first one.
Ooh, got trolled. I'm actually gonna swap these 2 because I failed this YOLO Ball minute sometimes.
That's fair. I'll explain what he means when he said he got trolled. So when an NPC is on screen, your character actually has a little bit of extra lag when he walks. And that NPC that you just walked past would have been on screen when he hard reset for this RNG manipulation. And,
Oops.
did you forget that?
No, I know it. I just I slipped off the arrow.
Okay.
Yeah.
When with these manips, everything matters. Like, it's frame perfect technically. Everything has more than a 1 frame window, but if you waste a frame somewhere, it won't work.
So I have a question. If this category is glitchless, why are manips allowed?
Because manipulation is not a glitch. Because of how the game generates RNG, every time you do anything, it's manipulating RNG. All he's doing is save and quitting and then playing the game frame perfectly. That's not a glitch.
Ah, okay. I'm learning more and more.
So we took a very specific path in which he took those extra steps, or what looked like extra steps, and he had to press A 7 times. When you A press, the game is lagged by 2 frames while it checks for items and hidden items. And doing that and taking that path will get him a Nidoran with the best stats that the game can generate that gets into the Pokeball if you clear the text box frame perfectly. It's incredibly intuitive.
Yeah, and that's another reason why we keep our names to 1 character, because even if I had made my name 2 characters, that frames, the amount of frames that you have to generate that ball manipulation is just shrunk by that much. So it can any amount of frames other than 1 character. Oops. Slipped off the thing again. My hands are a little sweaty.
No.
Yeah. I have 2 potions though. I'm thinking about resetting.
I don't actually know what this guy has. Weedle.
Yeah.
Okay, I hope he doesn't poison you.
Yeah.
See, that wasn't in the script. Yeah, you don't want to fight this guy.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, my hand's just a bit sweaty from nerves, and I slipped off of it. So let's see how we do here.
Wonder if you'll get level 8 for the next fight. Maybe.
Maybe.
Wonder if it'd be worth it to bubble next fight.
Could be. Now we get to be a little bit experimental, maybe. Or we're gonna have to fight 2 Pokemon here, so we should be able to get level 8.
Oh, there's 7.
Oh, let's tail
Oh, that's right. You have a battle style to shift. That matters later, not for this fight though.
Yeah, because the one mandatory fight that we do only has 1 Pokemon, so we don't have to deal with shift text anyway. So
it might seem slower because obviously it's 2 extra checkboxes, but it matters, and we'll explain why once we get there. All right, that fight.
I did not really take much damage.
Oh, dang. Like.
Got the tackle miss, of course, right when I said that, but still.
That's quite funny.
Yeah, level 8.
If you get level 9 for Brock, you won't have to deal with that special.
That's true. New strats being formed.
Okay, so
live for the people.
Yeah, so interestingly, there's 4 different textures of the tiles. That's a bad way of explaining it, but there are tiles with a flower on the bottom right-hand side. Those tiles cannot generate encounters, and that's why he's going up on the right and down in the center like that, because those tiles that he's going on can't generate encounters. Viridian Forest has a pretty low encounter rate anyway, but any number is a lot more than 0.
Let's just try a bubble, see what happens.
I'm interested.
Yeah. Alright, that's a crit, so that doesn't help me in terms of how much damage it does.
This fight is usually 6 or 7 turns. Looks like it'll probably be a similar amount of bubble.
Yeah, I might be able to do it in 5. Yeah, it looks like 5 will work.
Crit mattered, I think.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that could have definitely gone worse.
Yeah. Despite hitting that extra trainer, I still didn't have to heal.
Yeah, Indy get 9, which means that, just to explain it a little bit, as we said, Squirtle's good against Brock, but that doesn't mean that he's great against Brock. Just because Twirtle is level 8, sometimes he has special low enough to where he does not two-shot both of Brock's Pokemon. But at level 9, he's guaranteed to two-shot them both. Or level 9 going in. That's something we haven't covered yet. Special, unlike later gens, is actually one stat in this game. And it accounts for your special attack and defense.
Yeah, which they change pretty much right away. I think in Gen 2 they separate them, right?
It's pretty broken for the competitive scene of this game.
So in other words, Gen 1 is the best.
Absolutely. So he,
Let's save for safety.
I mean...
It's already gone off the rails a little bit.
Fair enough. He went to the mart there. Early mart is... Well, you can go to the mart before or after Brock. We call it early and late mart, respectively. But before Brock gets you some potions for Brock, which is good, because if Brock can do some damage. And it also helps your bag later. So you see how he swapped Nidoran? This is to get Nidoran some of that experience, because he's only at level 4, and we need him to get a lot of levels for him to be in a spot where he can actually beat the game essentially on his own. So we just switch train him like we are. And Squirtle does the dirty work and Nidoran reaps the benefit. What I don't remember if I've mentioned is that this Nidoran actually has perfect stats. Well, basically perfect. In this game, individual values, or IVs, are not a thing. Instead, there's determinate values, or DVs, which are 0 to 15 instead of 0 to 31. This Nidoran has 15 DV attack, 15 DV defense, 14 DV speed, and 15 DV special. It's called FFEF because that's 15, 15, 14, 15 in hexadecimal. And it's the best stats that you can get on a wild encounter because of how the game generates RNG. 15, 15, 15, 15 isn't possible. And because of this, so your HP DV is determined based on the smaller bits of your other DVs. Essentially, if your attack DV is odd, it adds 8 to your HP DV, defense adds 4, speed 2, and special 1. Because it has 3 stats that are odd and 1 that's even, it also has a 13 DV HP, which comes in handy. And you saw how he swapped battle style from shift to set. We use Nidoran exclusively, ideally, for every fight from now on, except 1. And so we don't want that text where it's like, would you like to swap Pokemon? He's about to send in Weedle or whatever.
Yeah, just waste frames when we really don't want to swap pretty much at all.
Yep, and this is why this route is already where Nidoran starts to shine. He got Horn Attack at level 8, which is why we switch trained him there. Horn Attack is 65 base power, which is very respectable for early. For reference, Tackle is 30... Is it 30 or 35? I don't remember. It's 30.
I was going to say 35, but I don't know.
Bubble is 20.
Exactly.
So having something like that so early is really, really useful. And along with Leer to lower their defense, he's a beast. It's a beast of a Nidoran. Ooh, now I get to explain something. Okay, so when you defeat Brock, you get something called a badge boost. A 9/8 boost to your attack flat. You don't see it if you were to check your stats because the game's weird. But like when you enter battle, your attack stat is multiplied by a factor of 9/8, rounded down. But due to a coding error, when your stats get recalculated, be it by a swing shot or a tail whip, that badge boost is reapplied. So when they are string shotting or tail whipping or leering, they're actually boosting his Nidoran's attack. Which is nice, because not only is your attack boosted, but you're also able to save some horn attacks that way, which is really, really useful because your horn attacks are kind of limited.
Yep, and it's gonna save us from having to go to a Pokemon Center that we used to take in old routes, but we don't have to anymore.
Yeah, that center got routed out very quickly once we got the manipulated Nidoran, because when you have perfect attack, you have to horn attack less. It's just that simple. Double Toe from that Rattata is very good. He has 3 moves, Tackle and Quick Attack, which aren't particularly strong, I guess. But after Tail Whip and Rattata has decent attack, they can do some damage. But Double Tail Whip doesn't really mean much.
This Ekans, this is where things get annoying.
He's Ekans is basically the Wrap God. You know, Eminem himself. He has Wrap, which is moves like Wrap, Bind, and Fire Spin are really, really broken in this gen. Nice, no Wrap.
Yeah.
Where they prevent you from attacking for 2 to 5 turns, which is annoying on its own, but for a speed run, it's incredibly slow. But no Wrap, very nice. That fight, it could have gone better, but it was still pretty good. Not having to heal, nothing.
I didn't have to heal during nothing wrap, and I am somebody who gets wrapped all the time. Like, however, whatever the percentage that Ekans will use wrap is not true for me because I get it like 90% of the time.
Yep. Wrap is 1 in 3 to happen, and it's about 85% accurate. So you're about 28% to get wrap per turn. So that means that you're barely favored to not get wrap, but barely. The badge boost from that Weedle actually really helps on this Kakuna, because usually you would have to horn attack this 3 times, but you can horn attack, tackle. However, this Caterpie's a little bit scary because he doesn't outspeed it anymore. And by scary, I mean it can string shot in now. After 1 or 2 string shots, he's speed tied with the Metapod after this, and after 3, he's just slower. But being speed tied is really unfortunate.
Yeah, because that means if Metapod gets to harden first, we're gonna have to use at least an extra horn attack. But looks like I was able to break the tie at least for the first one, which is
very good,
better than nothing, and the second one.
Wow,
so could have been worse.
It feels rare to win those speed ties.
Yeah.
So that fight was it was pretty good. Saving a horn attack on Kakuna is nice. But it's not like that fight can kill you or anything. After the youngster, as we call him, Shorts Guy, because he says, "I like shorts. They're comfy and easy to wear." After him, it's not like anyone can really do damage on this route. It's more so about saving horn attacks and not missing tackles.
It was a good string shot fail there too.
Yep, that's the 1 in 4 status move thing.
Into critical.
Wow, very good. This was actually a pretty good.
Another horn attack.
Overall.
Yeah. Not terrible.
Not bad at all.
And just so you know, Pinkish, I do the coming manipulation from the moon entrance, not from.
Hey, that's what I do too. Nice.
Nice. Good.
I'll talk about that a little bit. There are 2 moon manipulations.
Oh, we need the flyer name, by the way.
The moon manipulations essentially no encounters for moon.
If done well.
So currently I don't have a flyer name, so if someone wants to get that snipe in there, do that ASAP.
Like ASAP, because this is it.
Okay, so in this Route 3 grass, there are 3 Pokemon that you can find. Pidgey, which I believe is...
I'm just going to interrupt you for a second. No name came through, I'm assuming, right?
No, you're good to go.
Alright, moving on.
Okay, so there's 3 Pokemon, Pidgey and Spearow, and Jigglypuff. Pidgey and Spearow are the flyers, and they add up to 90% of the encounters. Jigglypuff is quite a troll, because you just have to run from it, and getting 10% is really annoying when it's bad. So now it's time to manipulate Moon. I think I'll talk about what he's doing once he finishes it, because it actually requires some pretty good concentration, and I don't want to talk over him and mess it up. Yeah, 36 should be fine.
Yeah.
You could just heal and fight if you need to.
Yeah, I'm actually just gonna... Quiet would be good here, just so I could focus.
Roger that.
All right.
Got pairs. Got pairs.
That was crazy. I can't believe how much of the movement you can retain.
So I'm gonna talk about that a little bit. Excellent job. That's the full manipulation. Very good. He follows the path as like frame perfectly, essentially, by moving and doing A presses, which are 17 frame windows. Essentially, the way the path is found is you have a bot playing the game at thousands of times speed, looking for paths that would get you no encounters into pairs that gets in the ball if you could effect box frame perfectly. And so he hit, I believe, 30 some odd A presses, and did the movement correctly.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think it's 30.
And it's just incredible. And then he hit the Paris YOLO ball with something called a select ball, which is where the original YOLO ball, he buffered it differently. With this one, you buffer select after buffering down an A to get into your item menu. It's just slightly different. It's a little bit slower, but it's what you need to do to get to Paris. What I haven't even talked about is how scary this fight is, but he just got through it without an issue.
Yeah, that really went well.
So first off, the Rattata went for Tail Whip, which let him two-shot it due to the badge boost. The Zubat has Supersonic and Leech Life. The unfortunate thing is Supersonic, although only 55% accurate, can confuse you, and for some reason, Leech Life, which is a bug-type move, is actually super effective against Poison, Nidorans type, in Gen 1.
Yeah, for whatever reason, I don't know why, but
yeah, Bug and Poison are super effective on each other, and it doesn't really make sense. But what happened was he got Supersonic Fail, which is excellence, because he wasn't confused, and then Supersonic still doesn't do that much damage. You'd generally rather see it just because it's not Supersonic. And so he got Leech Life, and it went well. That was a 5-turn fight, which is pretty nice.
Yeah, that's about as fast as you want it to go without having to heal or get. You can get heal locked in that fight.
Yeah, that's why he saved.
Yep. Especially because a lot of times I'll go into that fight with full health, just based on what we were given on Route 3. But because it wasn't worth spending another potion just to heal for what was it 5? What was 5 HP I think.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, 36 out of 41 I think.
36 is generally safe, or as safe. As
that's about. Yeah. So I definitely wanted to save there just in case. So it went well. Oof. Don't do it.
That fight's also the reason why he wanted to save some horn attacks on Route 3. Oh, disable. If he disables Mega Punch, it's really bad, because then your strongest move is Water Gun, which is not stab, not physical, which is Nidoking's best stat, or attack really. And it's just really slow. But yeah, that fight we call Moon Rocket, because it's the rocket in Moon. It's the reason why we save horn attacks on Route 3, because if you go into it with less than 2, it's basically unwinnable. Although the 2 itself is pretty scary, because you can't two-shot Rattata.
Yeah, I don't like going in with less than 3 personally. 2 is alarming.
But yeah, for this fight, not a whole lot can really happen aside from disable, which luckily didn't happen.
That in Mega Punch, which is not a 100% accurate move, can just miss as well.
He does move. Yeah, that's true. Mega Punch is 85% accurate. Okay, so you saw that he did a little zigzag pattern there, at the edge of the altar, essentially. The reason for that is that entire altar where you pick up Helix or Dome Fossil cannot generate encounters. So you take that little extra step because it gives you one less tile to step on where you can get an encounter. And we do everything we can to minimize encounters in these runs.
Yeah, that's absolutely what we aim for, and I'm thrilled that I got that in the run. just the whole moon manip, because I probably messed that up like 30% of the time, maybe, just because there's so much.
Really long.
And I'm not like an expert runner at this game. I'm kind of like an intermediate runner, I would say. So just how to get it.
Here he goes to the bike shop, but not to get the bike. By exiting this this dialogue with B, the game sets a flag for text to appear instantly. When you clear it with B, the game does not remove the flag. So until you perform a text speed check, which is either a yes/no text box opening your menu, or that's actually it.
Opening your menu by pressing start, or if you're doing it in a battle, like you go to your items
Yep.
as opposed to your fight moves and things.
And the text appears instantly, which might seem like a glitch, and honestly, it's probably the most quote glitchy thing we do in this run. But it is allowed, and instant text is natural. Like when you cut down a tree, the cut text box appears instantly. This is just the game not removing the flag. So you could argue that it's a glitch, but it's probably not really.
On Gust.
This Pidgeotto has Stand Attack, which lowers your accuracy. He has Quick Attack and Gust as well. You'd rather just see Quick Attack. It's like, okay, man, you go first, don't Stand Attack me. But we saw Gust there twice, very lucky. Because when you combine the 2 and 3 accuracy multiplier with the fact that Mega Punch is already 85% accurate, the fact that you have to hit 2 Mega Punches in this fight seems like a much taller order than it already was.
We did hit them both. Didn't get growled, which is good.
Yeah, that's basically the best
that went
way
well.
that fight can go, excluding criticals. Oh, something I haven't talked about yet. Crits in this game are based off of your base speed instead of the flat 1 in 16 crit rate in later generations. Nidoking's base speed is 85, and the equation to determine crit rate is base speed divided by 2, rounded down, divided by 256. Nidoking's base speed is 85, so it's 42 over 256 is crit rate, which is approximately 16.4%.
Much higher than our standard 1 in 16.
Yep. That Caterpie you just killed is a range. Another thing I'm talking about is damage ranges. The game determines damage through a complex calculation that I can't just rattle off the top of my head, unfortunately. But at the end, it divides the damage that you should do by 255, and then multiplies it by a random number between 217 and 255. 39 possible values, 39 damage rolls. Granted, you won't do 39 different damage every single time, but I forgot what I was going to say. That's just how damage rolls are. Many of the 39 rolls can deal the same thing, especially at low levels. And there's something called a 1 in 39 roll, which is when you get exactly 255 out of it.
Do I have time for a quick plug?
Absolutely.
Please.
All right. As a reminder, folks, all your subs, bits, and donations are going directly to Save the Children. So if you take a look at the upcoming incentives over at the donation page, donations.nasamarathon.com, you can take a look there and put your money to a good cause, and hopefully you get to see some awesome content coming your way. This marathon is not over yet. We still have plenty to go through, and a lot more Pokemon as well. Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. Love to get some more donations in.
Absolutely.
A thing that's I always like to see in marathons when Pokemon runs are happening is people will donate talking about what their favorite Pokemon is, which is always fun.
Cool.
So if you want to, throw it in there. You can even donate the amount of the number on the Pokédex it is. Obviously, if it's like 800, no one's expecting that. But oops, I don't know why I make a punch there, but that's fine.
I mean, feel free to use decimals too.
Yeah, decimals are great. Anything helps. Wow.
Okay, so these last two fights were actually kind of weird. That last one, the one before this last, he missed 2 Mega Punches on Zubat, which is really, really bad because Zubat has Supersonic, but he got Supersonic Sail into Leech Life. He also crit the Ekans, which is about a 60% range. And then he Mega Punched Nidoran, which is, well, incorrect, as he said.
Not the strat. Yeah.
But then he criticaled the Nidoran, which is not only... It wouldn't die without a critical, but it is only about 40% to die with the critical.
Yeah, so that was a range. That I actually didn't lose any time exactly, because that fight usually, with the Nidoran, usually takes 2 turns anyway, and it took 2 turns. I missed my Mega Punch and then crit on him, so...
Exactly. Now this fight has another Ekans and another Zubat. They're both guaranteed to die if you hit the Mega Punch, which is a big if. But the Ekans has Wrap and the Zubat has Supersonic, so missing the Mega Punch can be a really, really big just problem. But Konception has pretty high health here, so.
Yeah, I actually considered you can also use Horn Attack on that last Zubat, just to it's a range, so it's not a guarantee. Yeah, but I considered it just in case I would take a little bit of damage in order to get us into red bar. Which, if you want to explain what that means,
I would like
for the run.
Red bar
go for
is when your HP is below 5/24ths of your max HP, which as a percentage is 20.8333, repeating of course, which skips level up jingles, other jingles, and Pokemon cries. So like when you send your Nidoking out in red bar, you'll be able to act during it, or during the cry, as opposed to waiting, which saves about a second per. In those cries add up quick. It saves about a second per cry, and then a level up jingle is 2.5 seconds. So like over the course of an entire split, red bar can save between like 25 seconds and even a minute. It's crazy. And a lot later in the run, we'll definitely abuse red bar.
Yes, definitely.
Which reminds me, one of the reasons why Nidoking is so great, we used to use Blastoise for these runs. I mean, that's just objectively wrong now, but it was thought to be faster for a while. But Nidoking has the way it can abuse red bar and so many broken mechanics about Gen 1 is it just blows Blastoise out of the water with it. Blastoise can't set up red bar nearly as easily and consistently as Nidoking can. Yeah, these fights don't. Not a whole lot can happen. It's a Geodude which has low special, and you have a Water Gun, which is 4 times super effective, so you know that it's gonna die. The Machop is actually a 93% damage range with your Mega Punch. That's even if you miss that range, Machop only has Karate Chop, which is a high critical move, and the way that high critical moves in this game work is its base speed divided by 64. But Machop's base speed is only about 35, if I recall correctly. So it's not guaranteed to critical with it, and even if it does critical, only does about 8, which is far less than his health. Those Oddishes, or that Oddish, is about a interesting. You're supposed to Horn Attack that Pidgey silly.
Yeah, the reason I was considering, so to be safe, I'm gonna probably take the Pokemon Center after this instead of potioning. But I briefly considered not doing that, so that's kind of why my strat was a little weird.
Yeah, those Oddishes.
I switched in the middle of it.
Those Oddishes are about 55% damage ranges with Horn Attack, and they're guaranteed with Mega Punch. So you would Mega Punch them unless you need to save punches, which is what he was trying to do.
Yeah, I kind of changed course right in the middle. I was like, should I go for it? I'll go for it. No, I'm not going to go for it. So, yeah.
So now there's Bill here.
Oops. I hit B instead.
Said no to Bill. It doesn't matter much. It's 3 or 4 extra text boxes. So it's not like you're going to lose a run to it, but it's still kind of a funny meme.
Costs a couple seconds. Yeah, that was a meme. Like talking to an NPC twice or something like that. This part is
actually always kind of trips me up, because he has to walk back to Bill. In Yellow, which is the game that I've also run, your character actually walks back on his own without any user input. So there have been times where I just stood there for a second looking like a moron. This is why we get the escape rope in Mount Moon.
Oh, I saw my antidote. Forgot to toss that one.
Another difference between this and Yellow is you can escape rope out of Bill's house, which I don't know how he really feels about that, but who cares. You didn't center.
I forgot the center. Yep, I realized it right away.
You escape rope out of Bill's house, which you can't do in Yellow, so you get the escape rope just for that purpose. You would never, you would never center in a PB attempt because it's quite slow. It's safe, but it's slow, and that's why you forgot about it. So now we get instant text again, because when he taught Thrash, which we'll get into how broken Thrash is in a little bit.
That's exciting.
He had a yes/no text box, and even if he didn't, he'd have yes/no at Bill anyway. So he lost instant text there. But who cares, since we just get it right back again. Okay, so this seems a little bit weird. You go to Dig Rocket before you go to Misty, even though it takes a lot of extra steps. But due to the current EXP route, which is objectively the most optimal, no matter what it might seem, you need this experience to get level 25 for Misty's Starmie. And if you're not at level 25, you're not likely to two-shot it, and she outspeeds you. Which is two really, really bad things. That Machop is about a 35% damage range, so you don't expect to get it. The Drowsy, though, is a very, very favorable one, and missing it is a lot worse. Kinda nice that the favorable one is the one where missing it's worse, and the unfavorable one is the one where missing it's fine.
Yeah, we got Crych up there, and we actually didn't get the crit, which is, I'm used to the crit, so...
He got Dig there. Annoyingly, Nidoking cannot learn Dig, even though it's a ground type, and it learns all these crazy moves like Water Gun. This game would be a whole lot easier if Nidoking can learn Dig. But you can't. It's unfortunate. Yeah, so we're getting into why Thrash is broken. Okay, number one, it's a 90 base power move, which is insane. 2, it was nerfed in later gens to where after 2 to 3 turns of thrashing, you'll be confused. In this game, it's 3 to 4, which is huge. 3, you don't have to reselect it every single time, so it's very fast. Like, you hit Thrash once, you're thrashing for those 3 to 4 turns, nothing else. Also, Misty is a really, really bad fight. I'll get into it.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much I can do to concentrate on it.
Yep,
it's just gonna. Does it go well or doesn't? I didn't get X defend, which is great.
She's 1 in 4 to X defend, which is bad because then you don't two-shot her. Wow, that's a. Oh, wow.
That was interesting.
That was a huge crit roll. That might have even been the 1 in 39 roll. So that went well. In a PB attempt, you wouldn't want that since you can't really get a red bar off of this, but this is very, very safe HP. So that's nice.
Very safe HP.
The Starmie has Bubble Beam, which does 35 to 42, and can drop your speed, and it does 61 to 71 with a critical, and she has Water Gun, which is... You'd generally rather see Water Gun.
Yeah, Water Gun's ideal. Even with the health that we had, a Water Gun crit would be pretty good, honestly.
Yep, for setting up red bar once again.
Yep. But I'd rather be alive, so...
Fair enough. So to go back to Thrash, you only have to select it once. It lasts 3 to 4 turns at 90 base power, which is also really nice because you use it a lot. You don't have to worry about PowerPoint issues whatsoever because those 3 to 4 turns only take 1 Thrash PowerPoint, as opposed to 3 to 4, which is amazing.
Yeah, it's so good. Such a broken move.
It's another one of the reasons why Nidoking is great because not only does it have an insane move pool, not only do you get the fully of all Pokemon before you leave Mountain Moon, not only does it manipulate Red Bar easily, it gets Thrash.
Yeah, and that's the last move it'll learn naturally.
Yep, which is actually really fast as well.
Yeah, saves us all those move text boxes that, hey, do you want to learn this move? No? Okay, are you sure? Okay, alright.
Yeah, Stone Evolutions are notorious for not learning any moves after they evolve with their Stone, but this one learns 1 move, and fortunately it's extremely useful. We'll get the rest of our moves from TMs. These 2 fights, at this health, nothing can go wrong. Those Pidgeys have Quick Attack, and that Rattata, or this Raticate rather, also has Quick Attack, but even if he got all 4 Quick Attacks, he'd still be at like 50.
Plenty of health, yeah. I can't even remember the last time I've had this much health here, actually. It's kind of weird.
So now he enters Vermilion City, ready to go to the SSAN. Oh, I want to talk a little bit about something. In the
Please.
underground area that he was in just after Cerulean City, heading down to Vermilion City, so from the city with Misty's gym to Surge's gym, there is a full restore that we used to get. But full restores are actually pretty bad in this game because of several coding errors. Notably, a big one is when you get paralyzed, your speed is reduced in this game to 1/4 of what it was. And if you full restore, if the full restore has to increase your health as well, it will not restore your base speed, because it's coded to do 2 things. And if it has to do those 2 things, it will not restore base speed. So we said, nah, screw that, and we got paralyzed instead, which will restore your base speed.
Yep.
Nice quick attack from Pidgeotto. This has skinned attack once again.
Yeah, and that's the last time Pidgeotto's really, or any of the evolutions thereof, are a hassle for us, really.
Yep.
I could have just horned attacked this.
In PB attempts, this fight's really, really bad because you're often in red bar for it, and like getting sand attacked, and you can just get a lot of damage. It goes poorly so often. Like you can miss on this Kadabra, and it can go for confusion, which does a lot. It's super effective. This Ivysaur can bind with you. It's just a lot.
Yeah, it's so dangerous, in fact, that had I been Sand Attack, I still probably would have swapped, even having insane health.
And he would have lost instant text there with swapping, but with all of that, I couldn't have even argued with him if he swapped.
Yeah, just because that, I mean, there's a good chance, well, not a good chance, there would have been a decent chance I would have survived, but like, I didn't want to risk it in a marathon setting, so.
So now you get HMO1 cut, which is why we get Paris. Well, it actually going to dig as well, which is nice. But we needed a cutter.
Yep. That is the main reason why Paris. So we do that Mount Moon manipulation, obviously, because we don't want to hit encounters, but we do it so in a way that it ends with Paris, because Paris is valuable for the fact that it can learn cut and dig. Before we had RNG manipulations, we would just kind of hope a Paris would appear at any point. And if we had one, great, and if not, the backup would have been to catch an Oddish in the grass that was just before we entered Vermilion here, which it's just slower.
It's really inconsistent.
Yeah, and the encounter rates there are kind of all over. You can get some Mankeys, some Pidgeys, and all kinds of stuff. And
for whatever reason, Mankey can't learn cut, even though it seems like it should. Oh, another backup is he couldn't do this because he has Pidgey, but if you were to have Spearow, you can do an in-game trade for Farfetch, which learns cut and fly. Then you would teach, and you'd have to teach your Squirtle dig, which is pretty unfortunate.
Yeah, because then your Squirtle is going to have three moves going forward that you'd have to, 2 HMs and then dig that you'd have to manipulate around, which we're used to having
you did the 4 repel route. I actually love you. I love it.
Yeah, for sure.
You toss this antidote because you're a poison type. You can't get poisoned. You don't need it past that Weedle fight. Or the Weedle fight before Brock, specifically.
Yeah, I actually usually toss it earlier. I forgot to, because I tossed my Pokeball and not my antidote. That's why.
So this is actually the first really major menu of the run. You teach 3 things. It's faster to do a lot of things in one menu than splitting it up over many menus, because the menuing itself, like opening the menu, takes 50 frames, which is almost a full second. And if you were to teach all those things in 3 different menus, then you just wasted 3 seconds to nothing. Which, I mean, it's not a whole lot for one menu, but it adds up over a run. Here he save and quits because this trash can puzzle can take forever to solve.
Ooh, I got IGT'd.
Wow. Okay, just do the other one.
Yeah.
Well, now I have to talk about in-game timer. Darn it, I could skip that.
Yeah, I thought we could get away with that.
The in-game timer is, well, it's what shows you your time in game for one. But it also it's also determines, like, what frame you save on is also something in the in-game timer, essentially. And the frame that you save on can determine your outcome. So even if you do a manipulation frame perfectly, you can still fail if you save on a bad in-game frame. And we call that IGT for in-game timer. It's kind of complicated to explain, and I was really hoping I could skip it.
Yeah, this is the last RNG manip of the game,
Yeah,
so of the run, rather.
So you need to hard reset for RNG manips in the first place, because as I said earlier, the game determines RNG based on what inputs you're doing, but your inputs vary highly, so you can't like RNG manipulate throughout and then like throughout battles and stuff. Just because it requires too many precise inputs that humans just can't do consistently. But when you hard reset the game, you essentially reset the game's RNG frame to what's usually a constant point, but IGT is like the exception to that essentially.
Yeah, which it's I forget the exact one. I think that can manipulation that I do, I think I want to say it's 53 out of 60.
No.
Can't
do you
remember.
do the A presses or no?
No.
Okay, the no A press one is 57 out of 60, and the A press one is 58 out of 60. I want to note just for you that those don't share any IGT frame. So if you fail one, you can just do the other as backup.
Yeah, I should learn that. I don't know the other one.
Now's not the time to tell you, but it's pretty simple. You can figure it out.
Yeah. That's just me needing to learn that.
Surge gives us Thunderbolt, another move that Nidoking can learn for some reason.
Again, can't learn Dig, but can learn Thunderbolt. Makes sense.
Do I have a moment here to plug a donation that just came in?
For sure.
Please.
So we have a $10 anonymous donation that is literally just a bunch of emojis.
Nice. Can you read the emojis?
You love to see it.
Yeah, and the donation that the incentive they put it towards was taking the stairs in Final Fantasy VII Remake, which is the closing run.
Very cool. Yeah, take those stairs.
I don't know what it is about the stairs, but take them.
Me neither. Not familiar. Take them. Sounds like it'd be longer, so that's more fun.
Oh, here he goes to the bike shop for the first time to not get instant text. He actually gets the bike.
Actually get a bike.
We get to go fast, right?
Of course. So the character walks at 17 frames per tile, and you bike at 9 frames per tile, so about half. So just think of the astronomical amount of time you'd be losing if you didn't bike. You don't use Horn Attack. It's sort of sad to see it go, but we don't use it anymore, so we teach it over Thunderbolt, which is the earliest move that we have that we will still have at the end of the game. We teach it in slot 3 because we actually don't use it that much, but we do need it.
Yeah, it's important, but it's not frequent.
Yeah, and so you want to have the moves that you use most in like slots 1, 2, and 3 because you can get them with 0 and 1 input respectively. The one that you use least makes the most sense to be in slot 3. So this fight is called the 4-turn Thrash Girl, but we don't need to 4-turn Thrasher. In old routes, we would Thrash, and you would want to get a 4-turn Thrash. Okay, Thrash Auto specifically instead of Mega Punching it. And so there's a 1 in 2 chance that you get a 3-turn Thrash, and then a 1 in 2 chance that you hit yourself. So 25% for it to go badly. With Mega Punch, you're 15% to miss, so it's 10% less to go badly. Another benefit to this route.
So I found out what the update on those stairs are. Apparently, in Final Fantasy VII Remake, we're going to make the runner take 59 flights of stairs.
Wow.
So that sounds incredibly slow. So if you do want to make the run incredibly slow...
Well, let's frame it this way, right? We don't want to make the run slow. We just don't want the marathon to end, right? Because that's the...
So we're going to extend the thon. So anyways,
exactly.
It's a 250 target goal, and we're $20 so far. So there's still quite a bit of time before this one would have to close, but that sounds like an interesting thing to make the runner do.
For sure. Now, I am very hesitant here, so I just take that very carefully. I've hit that trainer so many times.
Talk about that bug catcher he just fought a bit. He bubble beamed the Caterpie because it's guaranteed, and the Venonat has a range, and if you miss the range, you don't want to be worrying about 4-turn thrashes. That's just a commonality with this fight, or with this route essentially. Also, he didn't repel. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna repel. I'm actually saving here on purpose. I usually don't, but I'm actually gonna try and get red bar here.
Nice.
But just in case I got crit, I didn't want to have nothing to go back to.
This is a pretty high health to get red bar off of, but you can get red bar off of any health here. And red bar for the split, we call it fly split because it ends when you get fly HM. Saves like almost a full minute. That's really unlucky. Because okay, at least he went for it turn 2. After turn 1, he's no longer even guaranteed to Bone Club.
Yeah, that was the thing. I was like, oh man. I was like, this could have really backfired in terms of speed. I was still relatively safe health-wise. I could have just backed out, but...
This HP is actually quite weird. What's your health exactly? Yeah. 23.
23.
I think you want to thrash the Slowpoke here, but I'm not certain about that. You'd live, but it would hit you to an HP where Oddish Absorb could maybe kill you. If I recall correctly.
I was gonna save before Oddish anyway, so let's try it for the people.
Slowpoke is, as the name would suggest, slow, and its crit rate is only 2.7%. So you barely even have to worry about it. Please tell me I didn't just commentators curse you.
No, we didn't get crit, but yeah, our health is low.
Oddish has 5 absorb, so we need to save. This Oddish, or as I like to call him, the Devil, is just... It's one of the worst fights in the game when you're in red bar. Because the Oddish, that's the name would imply, is a 46% damage range. When you include crit, it's closer to 55%. But he has Sleep Powder, Stun Spore, Absorb, and Poison Powder. And that's just a terrible moveset to be against.
Yep.
Fun.
Yeah. One thing that, since we're resetting here anyway, one thing that of note that we kind of glossed over is the fact that we're in Rock Tunnel right now, which you usually need flash to navigate so you can see. But because it's a consistent pattern every time, we don't bother getting flash, and we just kind of learn where we're going without being able to see. And you can still kind of see. You can see you could see like the larger formations of rock and stuff, so you kind of know where you're going.
Yeah, Rock Tunnel's pretty watered down in this game. In Fire Red, it's way harder. At Cerberoth in chat, he's using a Game Boy player.
I'm just gonna heal.
Turn asleep. That's so troll.
Yep, and then I died anyway. I'm just gonna heal.
Also remember that your repel doesn't last past resetting.
Yeah. Yep. So I'm gonna heal on this, and I'll use
another silly
too.
mechanic of this game.
Oh, our potions are down.
So yeah, that's it. That could have gone better.
Yeah, the health was just so weird, but we tried it for the people, and it was worth it.
Not the SNES, the Game Boy player.
Yeah, which is part of it's an attachment for the GameCube. So fun fact, so I am using that, but I have a controller adapter. Oh, of course now I get it.
Yeah, no.
I have a controller adapter. And I am actually using a PlayStation 1 controller to play this. So
that's quite classic. You get the range after you heal. Oh, the Bulbasaur is also a range, but it's a lot more favorable and a lot less likely to screw you if you miss it.
Just playing it a little bit safer now, because I definitely do not want to hit.
I want to note that
extra
you can
trainer.
Change palettes on harder setting. And there is a surge manipulation that you can do that lets you see in Rock Tunnel by using what we call the cheater palette. Or surge cans manipulation.
Yeah, we don't usually repel. Yeah, we don't usually repel there. We repel right before this hiker, but because I had to take a repel earlier than I needed to, our repel ran out a little bit early.
Yep. But the reason that he didn't do that manipulation, even though it's nice to be able to see, is because it requires what's called a back out, which is it wastes the full second in the introduction, or after he hard resets, he has to do the intro to the game, like Nidorino and Gengar.
Mm-hmm.
So wasting a second there,
Yeah, it's slow.
he would rarely waste a full second to movement.
One tile to buy. This is my favorite part of Rock Tunnel.
The part where it's easy.
Yeah, the part where it's easy. It's just fun. You kind of like serpentine, ride your bike around, and there's not a lot of danger.
Something I haven't said the whole time is we've been talking to trainers whenever we can, instead of letting them see us and do the little exclamation point animation. That's because that animation takes like a full second, essentially. And so if you can avoid it, you take the steps to do so. The only exception to that is Moon Rocket, which we let see us, even though we could talk to him. The reason we let him see us is because we don't want to have those added encounter chances. Oh, another small thing to note is as we said before, there's no more RNG manipulations for the rest of the run. Because, like, we manipulate no moon encounters, which is really nice, but you don't want to manipulate no encounters anywhere else, because even, like, if and when you could, it's a lot slower than just repelling, and once you get repels, like, a save and quit is about 20 to 23 seconds. Imagine doing that every time you would repel. It would take so long. Okay. Thrashing that Growlithe is about an 80% range, and you want him to hit you into red bar. He made the correct play at his HP. Vulpix is guaranteed to die, so it's not like you're risking a 4-turn Thrash or anything.
Yeah, if our health was low or we were already in red bar, we would have bubble beamed that Growlithe instead.
This is some fun movement. I want to see how well you do. Nice.
Ooh, one tile early on the nugget.
Not bad at all.
I do get the... yeah, I'll take it.
So you get the elixir in PB attempts because it's right there, like no extra steps. It's not particularly hard of a pickup. I don't know what you do, but you can either use an audio cue or count like pedals.
I do the audio cue for that one. Yep.
As long as you clear the A God on the bike text box correctly, then audio cue should theoretically always work. He also gets the nugget because he. I think I'll just let him show it actually.
Oops, backed out early. There we go. Yeah, so we're in our lengthy menus here. We're buying a whole bunch of stuff. Oops, one.
So yeah, at this point,
come on.
The route becomes a whole lot safer.
Yeah, a lot safer, which is nice because we buy 2 revives.
That's why we get the nugget. It also lets us buy some extra potions and Pokeballs. But the extra nugget gives you 5,000. You get the revives, you get the extra stuff. You can even buy some extra X items. It's a race strat that we came up with during the Red Race tournament of last year, and it's amazing because it means that you're so unlikely to lose a lot of time to a death in the latter half of the game, which is extremely, extremely good. So this girl, we used to give her a freshwater and a soda pop for her thirst. Freshwater would give us Ice Beam, but with Perfect Special, interesting route.
Yeah, didn't mean that. It's RNG manipulation.
With Perfect Special, we get Blizzard instead, which is 90% accurate, but has 25, as opposed to 100, but has 25 better base power. Blizzard's really, really good, and it's... Although we use Ice Beam in yellow now, just because Blizzard, you have to hit more Blizzards in yellow, and that's really unlucky. But we use Ice Beam in yellow now. For red, Blizzard is actually safer, just because of different mechanics and the different route.
Go.
So now we get fly, and we get to do a major menu here. I'm gonna let him focus on it. Oh, what I haven't said. Sorry. When you use the last of an item, it resets your cursor to the top of the bag. So when he teaches Rock Slide, it resets him back to the top, so we can just swap another item down. Nice accuracy swap. Not a bad menu.
Yeah, not terrible. Could have been worse. I've had much worse.
So TMs are single use in this game, but HMs you can use as many times as you want, and so you don't use the last of HM02 when you teach fly. So even if it were faster to bike to this place, which it isn't, even if it were faster, you couldn't do that. Now,
Larry strikes again.
Yeah, no, this fight is... It's really not that bad in most circumstances, but at this health, it's also not that bad. The only thing that you don't one-hit is his Ivysaur, which can't really hurt you.
Yeah, but best it could do is a Vine Whip, and I don't think that's gonna be a problem. And if it is, like it said, we're running a little bit safer now with revives, so.
Actually, I hope they do Leech Seeds here. It matters a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, what we haven't said yet, Rock Slide, which you just got, is 90% accurate. And it's really, really problematic in this. But since he has revives, he's... I would assume he just goes for it.
Oh yeah, I'm going for it. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah, we fight. So we're only gonna use Rock Slide for 4 total Pokemon that we're gonna kill, basically, or faint rather. As soon as and they're all Ghastly. The reason why it's important is because there's a lot of variety of what Ghastly can do should Rock Slide miss. We could get Lick, which can cause paralysis. We can get Nightshade, I think is what
Nightshade,
they do.
which
Also
does damage equal to the user's level. They are level. These ones are level 23, which kills. Let me guess. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Confuse Ray.
I know.
Oh no.
Let's see. Ah, yay! We hit through
On
both.
the bright side, though, Lick is extremely low base power, so although it can cause paralysis, we have Paralyze heals, and it's not like it's doing anything else in the meantime.
Oh man, you just gotta laugh at the RNG sometimes.
I've lost many a run to that. Many people have.
Yeah.
It's really convenient that there are just elixirs lying around here. Otherwise, we'd have to pick up some other stuff.
Yeah, it makes it really nice. Now, we still have to fight 2 more Ghastly, but we just walk over this healing pad here, which means that our health is full, our moves are replenished to full as well, so even if we get Confuse Ray or Paralyzed and stuff like that, we're not at risk to die anymore.
Okay, interestingly, you can actually skip Heal Bad by fighting an optional trainer. She has a Haunter. If you keep full red bar and hit the Haunter range, which is 85%, it's actually faster to skip Heal Bad by about 2 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Which should just show everyone how fast red bar actually is. That it's faster to do that fighting an entire extra trainer.
Yep, so starting the fight, completing the fight, ending the fight, all those text boxes.
Nightshade is the best pick to get here, since it's not Lick, and it's more importantly not Confuse Ray.
And again, this is a 90% move that I've missed twice out of 4 times. That's my luck. That's the kind of luck I get.
And there's a rare candy lying around. That's why we swap up Horn Drill in the fly menu, just so we can teach it right here. We don't need Rock Slide after this. unfortunate because Rock Slide's a slow TM to get because talking to the girl and her talking to you is kind of slow. But as we said, Nidoking can't learn Dig, and you have nothing else that one-hit KOs the gas leaves except Thunderbolt Critical, and that's not reliable.
Yeah, a little sloppy there. Yeah, during that fight, we do two different things there. We swap our repels higher so we can access them more quickly. That's pretty standard. And then we use a Pokédoll there. And if you've played this game casually, being able to use a Pokédoll on that Pokemon, which is a Marowak, if you can see it with the Self Scope, saves us a whole bunch of time. Because we no longer have to do the whole game corner segment in the game, where you have to go underneath the game corner, fight all the rockets, fight Giovanni for the first time, all that. We skip that entirely.
Yeah, that detour takes like 7 minutes.
Yeah, it's very, very long when we can just skip it. And I know what you're probably thinking. Why isn't that a glitch, right? But that is I believe now confirmed an intended mechanic. Intended mechanic. We always have believed it's an intended mechanic. We're just using items as they're designed, so that's always been the argument. But I believe when the yellow source code was leaked a while back, that it was confirmed within the source code that is an intended option for you to do.
Yeah. The general consensus for a while is that we're using Pokédoll in the intended way. Like, we're using it to stop an encounter, or to flee from an encounter. It's not like that ghost is special in that way. It was considered to be a sequence break, and a question that I heard a lot before the code was leaked, and it's now just confirmed to not be a glitch, but would have been like, would you consider it a glitch to do the rocket hideout and then use Pokédoll on Marowak? Would that be a glitch? And if the answer is no, then it's just the sequence break that's getting to you. And if the answer is yes, then you're just, well, then there's an argument to be had.
Yeah.
But it's using an intended mechanic. It's definitely not a glitch.
Do I have
another?
moment?
Go ahead.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you. As a reminder, everybody, we're raising money for Save the Children. $1 can provide 4 children with treatment against pneumonia and other life-threatening illnesses. So that's a pretty big thing, considering $1 can go quite a long way.
Definitely. Yep. I mentioned this when I ran earlier in the marathon as well, when I ran Harry Potter. I've had the pleasure of running in quite a few different marathons where I've gotten to raise funds for Save the Children, and it's an amazing organization, especially now with the COVID-19 crisis going on. They're doing a lot to aid in that as well. So every dollar counts, and it's all important to get those in for us.
Definitely.
One thing we kind of skipped over while we were talking about something else pinkish was I did use a horn drill there.
Accuracy horn drill. Ooh.
Yes.
Another broken mechanic that Nidoking abuses. Alright, I'll talk about it.
Yeah, go for it.
First off, in later gens, what one-hit KO moves need to work is for the user to be at or equal to the level of the target. But since we skip a lot of optional trainers, our Nidoking sort of becomes underleveled at this point in the game. Because not only do we skip Rocket Hideout, but we're also skipping a lot of optional trainers that are optional, but the game intends for you to fight some of them. But we fight 0 optional trainers in this run. Anyway, in this game what you need is for your speed to be greater than the targets for a one-hit KO move to work. And fortunately, X speeds exist, and so do badge speeds. But the nail in the coffin that just makes it extremely broken and extremely powerful is that in this game, X accuracy skips the accuracy check entirely. No matter how many sand attacks, no matter how many double teams, no matter how many anything. You cannot miss if you use X accuracy. Any move. And this includes a topic that we've also glossed over and didn't say anything about, the Gen 1 miss, which is an added 1 in 256 chance for every move except for 3 to miss. And every move that we use would theoretically have the chance to gem one this, but after X accuracy, it's just not possible. This Arbok is a range with Thrash, but that Leer on turn 2 made it very, very likely due to the back boost. Quite lucky there.
Yeah, that worked out. A lot of times if you're going, I mean, there's a lot of variations that you could do here depending on what you're going for. There's an option to get red bar here, which I'm going to not do just because it's a little unsafe. Well, I'm going to do it to an extent, but not the full extent.
Yeah, that strat is on average about 45% to kill you.
Yeah, so very, very not good for a marathon, but a lot of times you can just use an X accuracy and then a horn drill to guarantee that you can get that Arbok down in 2 shots. But then we're down 1 horn drill for
you
this
only
fight.
have 5, which is basically the one drawback of X accuracy horn drill.
Yep.
He's gonna need to take some damage throughout Silpho, but I actually want to keep why he's gonna do that to be a secret until we get there. That strat is absolutely incredible.
Yeah, I agree. Quick attack is good though.
So this fight is like, it's just everything that you'd expect, like from just the route to be you X-Sac, X speed, drill all 5.
And notice that we're, as Pinkish had alluded to before, we are under-leveled for where we're supposed to be right now. But using these X items combined with the one-hit KO abuse here, it's just absolutely ridiculous. Like we're just taking down things left and right.
Yeah, I mean, notice how in Lavender Tower we were about 10 or 5 to 10 levels above our rival Pokemon. Now we're actually below their levels, or tied in the case of Alakazam.
Yeah.
But it's because like we're over leveled in the early game because we've been pumping all this experience into one Pokemon. Again, unintentional, not intended by the game developers. But it comes back to bite us in, like later, that we're doing it all for one Pokemon and that we're not fighting a bunch of trainers or Pokemon that the game intends for you to fight.
Alright.
Perfect decision making.
So we're actually gonna... Yeah, we're gonna do a stall here.
Because as I alluded to again, we do want some damage here. Not a lot, but some. Focus energy. Ooh, that's something fun to talk about. Focus energy in this game is bugged to where instead of increasing your critical hit rate, it actually divides it by 4. We don't use focus energy or dire hits in this game, or in this run, which work the same way. Confusion's good, just don't confuse.
Yep,
okay, this is good health.
Spoiler.
We don't need to stall anymore.
Nope, this is where we want to be.
That Drowsy has poison gas, headbutt, confusion, and psychic.
Yeah, psychic does more damage, which would have been fine as well.
Yeah,
Confusion is actually my least favorite choice there, because we have the chance to be confused.
You don't stall on Drowsy at an HP in which psychic can kill you, because that'd just be silly.
Yeah, making unnecessary risk.
Okay, this Nidorino has Fury Swipe, which isn't exactly like Rat, but it's still really slow. It doesn't immobilize you, but it still hits you 2 to 5 times. Actually, it's Fury Attack, not Fury Swipe.
Yeah, we do use an X-Ack here, which is why Nidorino gets an opportunity to attack anyway.
One attack, not bad. This is safe HP.
Yeah, not too dangerous at all.
I mean, this is only dead to a Confusion critical from Hypno. But it just again the PowerPoint just work out so nicely. There's 7 Pokemon from these 2 trainers. You only have 5 Horn Drills, but 2 of them died at Bubble Beam, so it works out perfectly.
Yep, perfect. I was gonna say as well. We were talking about before that in a PB attempt, you may try to get red bar here. And even after you fight your rival in certain ways, depending on what kind of HP you have, and you fight that rocket before Giovanni, you might still be in an unfavorable range to get red bar, just based on the RNG. Yep. So another option you could do is stall on that Rhyhorn by using a Thunderbolt and things like that don't affect, in hopes that it stomps you, or I think it has Horn Attack too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it does Horn Attack and Tail Whip.
Yeah, so you can stall on that. It's very slow because you could just get Tail Whip 3-4 times in a row. Who knows?
You can also use a Guard Stack, which is fast when it's on hit.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Interestingly, in the world record that happens, it takes Rhyhorn 4 turns to stomp. It's so slow that his run would have actually been faster if he did not go for Sylph Red Bar, as it's called, at all.
Yeah, I think he loses a full minute on the split, if I remember.
He thinks he says he did, but he didn't. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Since this part's just there's not a lot to say about it, I'll talk about it a little bit. He was comparing to the current world record, which has an amazing Koga split of 13:22. So, but that's not even really good Sylph Red Bar doesn't often get you that time. You need amazing you need perfect Sylph Red Bar for that. So it's more likely that he lost 30 to 40 seconds to that split. Still a lot, but not a full minute.
Snorlax.
Snorlax.
Very cool, but not important.
I find it kind of funny that you can run away from it and then it's just gone.
Ooh, I almost went a little too far there.
In later gens, it said that it fled to the mountains or something.
Little serpentine movement there for you. We'll just call that RNG manipulation and let that go.
Yep, yeah. Rare candy there. You pick up all rare candies in the run that aren't just completely out of the way, and by that I mean the ones that aren't basically hidden behind optional trainers. Oh, you can kind of see it by him cracking his knuckles, but when you're on Cycling Road, the game goes down for you, so you don't need any input.
Yeah, it gives your hands a little tiny break.
Yep, it's one of 2 breaks in the run, essentially. The other one being when the SSN is leaving, it's just 20 seconds of nothing. This funny's kind of cool, I like it. You forgot to super repel, did that?
Oh, I actually just do it when I get inside of
Interesting.
Yeah. Because you have to menu there anyway.
So we don't need Thrash anymore.
Yeah. Bye, Thrash.
It's just gotten sort of... Once you get past the mid-game, Thrash just gets progressively worse. Because we're against stronger Pokemon that aren't always taken down in one hit. And so that makes it Thrash a lot worse, because you're a lot likelier to get confused and stuff. And 90 base power is sort of unimpressive at this point in the game. We still have Bubble Beam, which is only 65, but we'll be replacing that. We don't even use Bubble Beam anymore at this point.
So we're in the Safari Zone, but we use a Repel, because, when you go to the Safari Zone, who wants to catch Pokemon, right?
Fun fact, the Safari Zone's encounter rate is actually huge. If I recall correctly, it's 50 out of 256, which is the most in the game. I'm gonna check that right now.
Yeah. It's very big, but we're not here to catch Pokemon. We do have to clear it in order to get ultimately 2 HMs.
30 out of 256.
Yeah, still very high. Still higher than pretty much any grass encounter that we usually deal with. But ultimately this will end us with getting 2 HMs. One we're gonna get directly in Safari Zone, but the other we're gonna grab a set of gold teeth here and turn them into the Warden after our next gym battle in order to get strength, and we're gonna get Surf here.
The movement to and from Gold Teeth is actually surprisingly awkward. He did it perfectly, so you didn't see it, but it's weird because the game itself, if you're pressing down and left at the same time, the 2 inputs you need to do, you'll just go down, you won't go left. So by doing that, you have to let go of down, hit left for a split second, then hit down again. It's kind of awkward.
Yeah, it is.
And then you only have
strange.
1 tile to, from coming from a complete stop, you only have 1 tile to move up.
Just a fun fact thing to mention too. If you've played this game casual or you're familiar with it for the most part, you might think your typical gym order. You know, you get your Pewter City, your Cerulean City, your Vermilion City, which we've already done. Usually, typically, you do Celadon City for your 4th badge. Then this one, Fuchsia would be your 5th badge. Saffron would be your 6th badge.
And then, Cinnabar, and then
Cinnabar is 7, and Viridian. We do things very much out of order. So we did the first 3 in order. We're gonna grab this badge 4th. Then we're gonna do Cerulean 5th. Yeah, Cerulean, right? Celadon. I always confuse those 2 names. Celadon 5th. Then we're gonna do a Cinnabar 6th, and then Saffron 7th.
And then you have to do Viridian Gym 8th, because you can't even get inside unless you've beaten all the other 7.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool about this game. Later gens and just games in general, they have a pretty set order for you to do stuff in, but in this game, like, once you beat Misty, really, which gives you the ability to cut, it's very open world.
Yeah, I do like that concept, and it's so open that before we had RNG manipulation, which kind of solidified the path that we take each time. We used to be using Nidokings that would have all different kinds of stats, which would cause us to use different kinds of paths based on what we had to work with.
So you would always do Koga first because of the strats that are about to come up. And it involves red bar. That's all.
Yeah. But you might do Saffron next. You might do Cinnabar next. You might do Celadon next, just depending on what kind of stats are what you were left with. Yeah, saves a turn and made it not risky at all for us.
So yeah. After this gym, like if you had really low speed, you would do Saffron gym first. Like you have high speed in this run, so you do it last. So you can outspeed your Alakazam. But if you had low speed and you couldn't outspeed it anyway, you would do that one first. You'd use an X speed and then just win or lose.
Yep.
So it was kind of cool to play around with different
killer.
Nidorans. Or back when that was a thing, I joined the community after that. But I don't think anyone except Exarion really wants RNG manipulation to not exist.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with its existence, honestly.
Because you could get Nidorans with like in a marathon setting, you can get Nidoran with like a 0 DV attack, and that would be a run killing in any setting that's not a marathon. Wait.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Wait, self-destruct. How much does that do?
Geez,
oh god. Oh god.
Yeah.
Good thing you have to revive.
It's terrible. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you still beat Koga because you have the slaves. Oh, I didn't mention this. The way that you manage your bag is very specific, so that you do not get gym leader TMs after defeating them. Because getting the TMs wastes about an average of 4 seconds per TM, but some take longer. Koga's is the longest. So for the 5 gyms that you do that for, it's about 20 seconds. Oh, yeah. Okay. So if you rare candies, 10 health. Huh.
Yeah. So, if you didn't catch on, we were playing a little bit of theatrics with you. That is the intended strat, and it actually worked out really fast because he can X attack there instead, and then just waste a turn. Yeah, just waste a turn for no reason.
I forgot to talk about good AI.
Yeah, that's another thing too. That's gonna matter, especially in the later parts.
It matters there a lot. Okay, so good AI is a thing that essentially, it's how the trainers determine their moves, and it is not well coded at all, like at all. But essentially, what happens there is Koga sees that Nidoking is a poison-type Pokemon. He sees that poison is not very effective on poison, so he gives his poison moves a -1 priority. His only non-poison move on on Weezing is self-destruct. And so he self-destructs, killing himself and our Nidoking in the process, provided we take some damage, which is why we took damage earlier. We win the fight, we revive Nidoking to low health with rare candies, and and you'd be shocked how long this red bar is gonna last, and how safe it actually is.
Yep, yeah, it's very safe, but you're gonna be alarmed because we're gonna be at very low health for a long time.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
But trust us,
yeah.
trust us.
There's only one fight that has any risk, and we're gonna save for it.
We technically don't have to, but we want to keep red bar. So because I only say we don't have to because I have the revives, obviously.
But it's actually,
and so I could just not save. It's actually faster if I die once to reload and then keep red bar. So
again, red bar just saves so much time. Fun fact: this is my favorite menu in the game. This one.
Yeah, this one's so great. Yeah, it's probably my favorite menu too, honestly. I really like this one.
So you teach Squirtle strength because it can learn that. It's pretty nice. You teach it here instead of on the surf menu, because having surf in slot 1 instead of slot 2, where it would be when you teach strength, saves 1 input. So we teach Blizzard over Bubble Beam because we don't need Bubble Beam anymore, and Blizzard is the best competitive move in the game.
Yep, and this is going to be our final move set for the rest of the run.
He repels, which, this is the beauty of this route. We bought that 4th repel. We used 3 earlier, we saved that other one all the way to here. So we can pick up an item here and then save that for later as well.
Yeah, it takes a little bit of risk out of one of the later game fights.
It actually takes risk out of 2 of them.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah. You're right. It does take it out of 2 of them.
It's an amazing strat. That's.
Oops.
I'll explain it when we come to that, and I absolutely love the strat.
Yeah, it's so good. In old routes too, so we always would teach, even in older routes, we'd always teach strength to, or at least since I had joined, we'd always teach strength to Squirtle. But at points, when we would go to teach use a rare candy, the cursor would be on Squirtle because that would have been the last time we taught a move to it. So you could, if you were not paying close attention, accidentally use a rare candy on Squirtle instead of your Nidoking, which would pretty much be run over because it's gonna completely throw off your values of your speed for important fights and things like that.
So good AI becomes progressively more important as the game progresses. But I'll briefly explain it. It gives super effective moves +1 priority, standard moves normal priority, and not very effective moves minus priority. And it'll always choose the move with the highest priority, or if they can use a battle item, they'll do that instead. Which is part of the reason why this is safe, because there are moves like agility and reflect and hypnosis that can be used, but they don't do damage. But because they see that psychic, the type of those moves, is super effective on our poison type, they'll actually go for them, and they'll spam them. Whether or not they actually do damage.
Which we exploit not only to not die, but we'll use that exploit to use items at key points as well.
However, good AI is not something that all trainers have. Most trainers in the game, actually, including some E4 members, hilariously, have the AI use random move. But most gym leaders, I'm actually not sure about all of them, but I know that Lieutenant Surge and Misty do, and then all succeeding gym leaders do. I don't know about Brock, but I would assume he does as well. Blaine is actually the one fight in the game that is actually impossible to lose, provided you don't make a mistake. It's actually impossible.
Not to mention, so we alluded to it before, but because we're so set up here and with our items and stuff, this part of the run is kind of like a boss rush, if you will.
Yep.
We're just gonna go gym to gym to gym and just conquer them. So weirdly, we're like an hour and 20 minutes in. We only had 4 of the gym badges, and as you can see, my estimate is at 2 hours. So you're like, oh, I wonder when we're gonna get the rest of the gym badges. Not to mention we still have to fight the Elite Four.
Well, the answer's now.
Yeah, now, and we're gonna do it fast.
So he's answering these questions. Two things to note. Well, one, he's not answering yes to them all. When you hit B, it actually answers no, and if you hit A on yes, it hits yes. So you could just hit B to do no instead of like going down or whatever. Instead of going down and hitting no. Also in yellow, this whole just intro where it's like, if you wanna get your Pokemon, if you wanna save your Pokemon for the gym leader, you better get this right. That whole thing is only done once and then skipped for the rest. So as a runner who's run both, once again, it can be kind of confusing.
Yeah, and I would just imagine just frustrating because the questions are the same, but they just take longer.
I mean, I've also memorized the number of text boxes they are because that's actually important to getting really, really good Blaine splits. But it's
for sure.
So Blaine is interesting. Is that Flutz 123? Blaine is interesting. So using X accuracy, his Growlithe is AI locked into using agility because he sees that it's super effective. But we didn't see it. There's a 1 in 4 chance that even at full health, Blaine can use a super potion on his Pokemon, which is nice because it's actually faster than getting agility by either 2 or 5 seconds, depending on which turn you get it. But we didn't see it there. It's kind of humorous just to think that like this gym leader, this guy with a level 47 Arcanine, just used a super potion on his full health Pokemon after trying to agility us at 10 health. But yeah, the AI in this game was just not coded very well.
No, definitely not.
Mainly just because in addition to Blaine being weird with the super potions, good AI does not take into account whether a move does damage or not, obviously. Which is fun because it means that you can beat like E4 members with like a level 5 Mankey in theory.
Yeah, that's how weird the AI is in this game. It's just so odd. But we use it to our advantage.
This split is pretty straightforward. Sabrina's technically losable, but you needed to Gen 1 this to lose Sabrina. It's an extremely free fight, which seems funny because she's a psychic type leader. We're poison type. She should have a huge advantage. But both in red and in yellow, Sabrina's free. I mean, in yellow she's actually unlosable, but in this game she's free. But as we said before, on older routes or before RNG manipulation, back when you didn't have a manipulated Nidoking, sometimes you would not outspeed this Alakazam without an X-speed, so you'd have to X-speed on Mr. Mime, which is all in all about 40% the die. Some other things I want to bring up is that instead of effort values or EVs in this game, there's stat experience. And due to there being stat experience instead of EVs, I should explain it first. Stat experience is essentially you get boost to your stats on your level depending on what you fought. So like fighting an Onix will get you a little bit of stat experience depending on what Onyx's stats are. Or if you fight a Geodude, it gives it to you based on what their stats are. This game is routed so tightly that your stat experience allows you to outspeed Sabrina's Alakazam by 1.
Yep.
So like if you're like making a homebrewed route or whatever, you think I'm gonna optimize red. Taking stat experience like that into account it's so unbelievable. Like how optimized.
Yeah, absolutely crucial.
Oh, by the way, this next fight is the one fight that we have to save for. It's kind of funny to think that like we're safe on Sabrina, Blaine, Erica, Giovanni, these gym leaders, but this random black belt. Nah, he's a problem.
This musclehead, yep. He's the one that can give us issues.
He's about 1 in 7 to kill us. Let's just hope it doesn't happen. He has Karate Chop, which is about 70% to crit with his speed, and he has Low Kick, which could crit. He also has Leer, and he has one other move, I don't remember.
He did get low kick, but he missed, so that
Nice.
works.
He can also use an X attack. He has... and focus energy.
Mhm.
So we got through that, that's
Oh, we
nice.
got-
And now the
Yeah, we got the good luck.
safe for another 15 minutes. Feels good.
Oh, yeah. Alright, so we're actually going to walk out the gym here, just to reset the trainer location,
Yep.
and we can just walk directly to Giovanni.
Oh, that item there, this is kind of cool. It's the only item in any gym in the entire game, and it's a revive, which we would actually, he would maybe pick up if he didn't already, if he had already used one of his revives. But alas, he
Yep, I
hasn't.
probably would have, to be honest, yeah.
Oh, Giovanni, another victim of good AI.
Yep.
We'll cross that bridge if we come to it. I'll talk about it then.
Hopefully we don't,
Yep.
honestly.
But we'll see.
That's the hope, but we'll see. Just because it's faster not to.
It's,
But yeah, just a longish fight because he's full party.
he has
Oh
five,
no,
yeah.
no, he has 5
It's
actually.
kind of funny that he's
Yeah.
a ground type trainer, yet all of his Pokemon, or except one, are one hit KO'd by Earthquake. Because they're all weak to it except Dugtrio, and Dugtrio's defense is terrible anyway. But Nidoqueen's weak to it, Nidoking's weak to it, Rhyhorn's weak to it. Technically Rhydon
Spider-Man
is, but
meme right
Rhydon's
here.
defense is good enough to where we don't use it.
Spider-Man meme right here, but only for a second. Who's the real Nidoking?
So here's
Ah,
Rhydon.
darn. Ah, got the frozen.
Nice. Okay, so I'll
It's a little bit faster. Yeah.
So as we said earlier, one hit KO moves only hit. Okay, that's good. Good. One hit KO moves only hit if you're faster or actually speed type the target. Rhydon is slower than us, but because he sees that Nidoking is poison type, he's locked into going for Fissure, which he can't hit.
Yep. Not
Giovanni can
possible.
also use a guard spec on it, but either way you take no damage.
But we got the less usual route, which is that we freeze them solid.
Yep.
And we also, yeah, like you had mentioned, we could also just hit get it in one if we had hit the range or crit.
Yeah, it's not a great range, but I like to say that that is
Yeah.
the last Pokemon in the game that we do not one-shot here. Hopefully. There's one Pokemon that's like 6% in this fight to not get one-shot.
Yeah, and there is one Pokemon in a future battle that I will purposely take 2 turns to defeat. Yeah, 2 turns, yeah. But we'll cross that bridge
I'm
when
not
we get
even
to it
sure
as
what you're
well.
talking about. I'm excited. Maybe I'm just not thinking about it enough. Ooh, no X factor.
Yeah, you'll know when you get there. You'll definitely know.
Okay, there's a 90% Blizzard in this fight that we've got to hit.
Yeah.
But it's faster. You can X accuracy this fight and then secure that you won't miss any Blizzards. It's about 4 seconds slower. So you can consider doing it, but it's also a chicken strat. When the route was made,
Yeah.
you were not intended to do that.
Yeah, and you wouldn't in a PB attempt for sure.
That's right. God, so much I haven't talked about. Animations in this
Yeah.
game. You would think that Earthquaking the Growlithe might be better because it's super effective, but because Thunderbolt has that little shake, and Earthquake has a flash animation where it flashes. Oh no, Vine Whip, good.
We're okay. We're okay. Yeah.
Okay, that Venusaur has 2 moves, Vine Whip and Razor Leaf. Razor Leaf is a high critical hit ratio move. Critical hits in this game ignore your stat changes, so it would ignore both of his X specials and it would kill him. That was scary, but it worked out. That damage is actually
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, I was gonna say it actually secures us for keeping red bar for 1 extra Pokemon.
Yep, and that level up. So about 4 seconds combined.
Yeah.
But throughout the entire run, he's been using shake moves. So moves with a shake animation. Generally, it's moves with a secondary effect. Our shake and moves without one are flash, but that's not a perfect rule. It's just general. So that's why I use Thunderbolt to Growlithe, because it's faster.
Good. I would say I'm about 30% to use strength there by accident instead of surf.
Fun fact: this water that he's on cannot generate encounters at all, which is nice because our repel would be a lot tighter if it could, but it can't.
Yeah, it can't. Yeah, we only use the super repel to get through that small patch of grass before we fight the rival mainly.
Yep, and then elite form or victory road movement is pretty tough.
It is tough, and I'm gonna preface it that I'm not great at it, and I usually have to use I'll usually have to use one extra menu usually here.
Do a swag boulder.
I'm gonna try.
If you do it, I get to explain it.
Yes, I'm not gonna do it here. I'll probably save it for one of the longer, like just straight paths, but I don't want to screw this one up.
There's not much to say about the boulder puzzle. If you push the boulder, you put it onto the thing. That little white shiny thing, that's right there blocking your path will be lifted. I'm not sure what that's supposed to be, but it's a cool puzzle.
Yeah, I'm gonna take it a little easy there. Oops. See, told you, not too great, not my strongest point, but.
Oh, that trainer right there we call the tricky trainer because extra tricky, sort of a legend in this game, who originally was one of the routers for the original Red Nidoking percent, hit that trainer on a world record pace run and then didn't world record as a result. I mean, he tied world record, but he already had it, so. That was also back when we used in-game timer for timing instead of RTA. Real-time attack.
Yep.
Why it's attack is beyond me, but I don't make the rules.
Yeah, I don't make the rules either. Yeah, and obviously the main. I think we switched it before. I can't remember if we switched it before RNG manipulations, but regardless, because we use RNG manipulations, because we have to save and quit, in-game timer is no longer reliable, so we have to do RTA because we do a lot of.
I mean, to be fair, in-game timer wasn't that reliable in the first place. But...
Yeah, that's why I couldn't remember if they had made the change already.
It was
anyway.
made for RNG manipulation, but
okay.
The only reason that in-game timer was, dude, he's not gonna choke, and even if he CLP 33, my man, why would you say that? He's not gonna choke, and even if he does, he's gonna win.
That's right. So I'm gonna have to use an extra menu here.
No, I think you're fine. Pretty sure you're fine.
I'm gonna risk it. No!
Wait, you weren't fine? I didn't see an extra step.
No, I wasn't fine, and I was like, it's like 4 tiles. I'm gonna risk it, and I hit an encounter anyway.
Victory road encounter rates will be small as well. It's like, like 4%. That's gunner luck, as we call it.
Yep.
Also, no CLP. He has revive, so this one cannot be stamped down. That's the right Nidoking.
Yeah, just gotta make sure the stats are good. Alright, swag time, let's try it. I'm not very good at it, so. Come on. Come on. Oh, so close on that one. No. Alright, we didn't get it. I'm not very good at it.
Is that Baroda? Whoa. Unlucky.
Not something I usually practice, but what we call swag boulder is if you do a frame perfect trick there, you can push the boulder while looking up instead of at the boulder. It actually wastes time.
It's a 2-frame window that also wastes 2 turn frames. It's kind of cool because it pushes the dust like the direction that you're facing instead of the direction that the boulder goes, because the game determines it based on the direction that you're facing, not the direction that the boulder goes. Also, Lorelei strats are awesome, and I'm gonna let you do them before I explain it.
Yeah, this is the Pokemon I was talking about that I take 2 turns on purpose.
How much input lag? 68 milliseconds. So he swaps to Pidgey. Dugong kills Pidgey. But we're at low health. He just used Aurora Beam. Rest. Interesting.
Dangerous.
Okay, now I can talk about it.
Yes.
Lorelei has good AI. And so when you swap to Pidgey, she has good AI is also cheater AI essentially. She reacts to you swapping into Pidgey before you've even swapped and uses Aurora Beam. Then you swap back into your Nidoking, and because of how Lorelei's AI works, she is guaranteed to use a status move turn 2. And because Rest is Psychic type and super effective, she will always Rest turn 2 on a Nidoking. Against other Pokemon, she can Growl as well. But it guarantees your Lorelei win unless you Gen 1 misses on your Pidgey, which I've personally never seen, but it's definitely happened.
I have not seen it either.
Bruno is a 2% death. Again, not much of a worry. He needs to use Slam, which is 1 in 5.
And it needs to crit.
It's about 1 in 5, not exactly. Yep, and then he needs to critical hit it. But he also has Harden, Rock Throw, Rage, and Connects Defense.
We got Rage.
Rage is fine.
Yep.
Here he goes for Blizzard instead of Horn Drill on the Onyxes because it's 1 less text box. Well, unless you critical hit like he did. It's super effective instead of 1-hit KO and not very effective. Because normal is not very effective on Rock. At this HP, I think you actually potion and super potion for Agatha.
Yep, sure do. Sure do.
So Agatha's the first Elite Four member that you can't just mindlessly do in Red Bar.
Well, 19 is like the threshold of what I would do there, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna be safer anyway. So.
How long till he finishes? Approximately 5 minutes. So there's a thing called YOLO Agatha where you would do Agatha in Red Bar. That's a pretty desperate strat is a better way to put it anyway. And it's especially bad in a marathon setting. Here he potioned and super potioned because he would likely have to potion for Lance. And if you have to potion for Lance, it's better to do it on Agatha menu. But this strat is very, very cool. You rare candy there. When you level up, your added badge boost wear off. Confused for unlucky.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the worst outcome. Hit self, no.
Yeah, hit self, but spoiler alert, we save on the next turn, so
okay.
we're okay. Just a little slow.
You X special.
Oh, God.
Oh, please no. No! Confused, right? No! Not hit self.
We're not confused again. Okay.
This is weird.
Yeah,
wow.
Missing that Blizzard on Golbat is pretty bad because it can cause a variety of different outcomes. That actually was an okay outcome in my opinion. It's slow, but it was okay. Yeah.
That was interesting.
The worst one that can happen is they can use Haze, which eliminates all status benefits.
Which includes your added badge boost from X Special, which is what allows you to outspeed this last Gengar, and the X Special, and your general speed badge boost, which is 9/8 as soon as you enter battle anyway.
Yeah, so what we would have done, we have 1 X speed left, which we usually use on Lance, but if I had been Haze there, I would have used it on the Arbok.
And then you would have
instead.
double X Special on Lance.
Yep.
Looks like this is... you have to heal this 3 times, it looks like.
Yeah.
Unlucky. Hopefully hopefully he hits us to a good Red Bar, though. So even on a fight as scary as Lance, our main concern for this run is just manipulating Red Bar again. Because of Lance's good AI, he's guaranteed to go for Hydro Pump with his Gyarados, because it sees that Nidoking is part ground type and it's super effective. Alright, interesting. He needs a pretty high roll to get Red Bar here, but it doesn't matter that much.
Yeah. I actually considered, with that health, I considered not saving.
That's...
Because I have two revives, so even if I had died, it probably would have been okay, but...
Yeah, I would have disagreed with that.
Slower. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, ultimately I didn't do it.
Ideally,
because
Hydro Pump miss would actually be pretty good here. Hydro Pump's only 80% accurate. Oh, it hit. Let's see.
Yep, it hit, but no red bar.
37. Okay, so that's a roll of 114, which is kind of low, but not that low. His minimum is 108, and his maximum is 128. But the rest of the fight's just one-shots, which is, again, Nidoking just being extremely overpowered. With coverage like this, it's no wonder that he one-shots the entire E4.
Yep. That's what makes this moveset just absolutely... First of all, that Nidoking could learn this moveset is ridiculous, and then how much it covers is also ridiculous.
Yep, and the fact that you're... think about it this way. After Hypno, you're at worst a range to one-shot everything remaining in the game. After Hypno. Which still has
which is
5 gyms remaining. Or 5 gym leaders remaining.
So crazy.
His HP is actually, it seems kind of low, but it's actually pretty safe for Champion.
Yeah, I'm actually not going to save here.
Good luck. Champion has 4 moves he can use. Mirror Move, Whirlwind, Wing Attack, and Sky Attack. Champion's another reason why this Agatha candy, as we call it, where he used the candy before Agatha, in addition to Agatha, is a very good strategy. Because before, Sky Attack was just a terrible outcome. You would need to heal, or just you could just lose in some cases. But now, if he Sky Attacks, you're still about 75% to win. But we'll see that if it comes to it. Again, he also X specials here for that reason. Wing Attack, nice.
Yep.
Wait,
That's okay.
Wow, that's really unfortunate. You have the revives though.
That's okay. Yeah. It was worth the risk because then we could have done the rest of the fight in red bar.
Remember that your cursor resets the Nidoking here.
Yeah.
Alright, come on.
Should I? I'm trying to decide if I should swap or heal or just die.
I think you should just die. Or no,
I'll just
probably
use
get away
a
with swapping as well. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'll use a potion. Oh, geez, of course, this guy. Well, we're gonna die next turn anyway, so here we go. Might as well heal out of the range of a non-crit Sky Attack, just in case.
Yep. So we're back in. Also, it was a 1 in 16 Wing Attack death. You needed Wing Attack into Wing Attack.
Yep. Huh, you just love Wing Attacking me, huh?
Well, that's a win, GG.
Yeah, it's a win, for sure.
Wow, critical.
Just a slower win. Yep.
Wow!
Just crazy. Insane, but we're safe, we're fine.
Yep.
It was worth going for it because we could have got red bar. But, which would have saved us, I don't know, probably like 20 seconds over this fight, maybe? No, not quite, but something.
Before Agatha puts your red bar, or your level up to after Alakazam, which means that with the X Special badge boost, you outspeed it. So, the strat, if you were to get Sky Attack turn 1 there, would have been to Blizzard the Pidgeot, and then EQ the Alakazam. And then he would X Attack on Rhydon, which at his HP was essentially guaranteed to live.
Yep. Yeah, there's I think, a 1 in 4 chance he could use...
Yeah, but you even lived 5 turn Fury Attack there. He would need a critical Fury Attack.
Oh, yeah.
But Larry sent out Venusaur. And that's that. Timing does not end quite yet. You guys still get another minute and a half of mashing.
Oh, geez, we're gonna be just over estimate. Just over, yeah. And someday I will do this in my set estimate. I will. I'm always like just over, like by seconds.
Wait, no, I think that you actually get this, honestly.
In 2 hours?
Yeah, I think you do.
Well, keep in mind, though,
no, I'm pretty sure you get it.
Because of the safer...
Yeah, I'm pretty certain you get it, actually.
But a point of order there that's always worth mentioning. In a PB attempt, we actually would have deposited 2 of our Pokemon, just because the Hall of Fame sequence would be faster that way.
The Hall of Fame sequence
but
has a cutscene of about 8 seconds per Pokemon.
Yeah, so it's worth even going to the PC to deposit them because it's faster. But because we have the revives, it's worth keeping just in case we die.
And it's not like you would deposit just 1, because A, that's not worth it, and 2, you wouldn't be able to have your revives. You would have 1 less revive effectively. But yeah, this is like a mid 159.
So just there. And get ready on time. Time.
Well done.
Thank you so much. Yeah, that considering that, man, I got some incredibly bad luck a lot in this run. A lot of crazy misses, and things like that. I'll take this. It was a pretty good run. Besides, just RNG absolutely destroying me a little bit, but yeah, just wanted to do some quick shout outs. Thank you so much, Pinkish, for the excellent commentary. Incredibly knowledgeable runner, and better than I, in my opinion. So definitely be sure you give Pinkish a follow and just support them as much as they can. Shout out to the Pokemon speedrunning community as well. Incredible group of people, highly knowledgeable, very willing to help out beginners, intermediate runners, advanced runners. Couldn't say more about them. They got their own marathon coming up in the near but not so near future, so that should be exciting. Mid-August. And yeah, if this is a popular speed game, visit the speedrun page, speedrun.com/ I think it's PKMN Red Blue, I think. And we got all kinds of resources there, forums, questions. Check out the leaderboards. Join our Discord, which you can also do from there if you're interested. But that's it for me for this marathon. And continue to enjoy. I believe we have Crimson Clover next, if I remember.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And yeah, Pinkish, like crazy knowledgeable person that you are, blowing my mind with all this Pokemon knowledge that I didn't even know ever really existed.
All the math and all the strategy that goes into the making this route perfect is from people like Pinkish, who are super knowledgeable and things like that.
Yeah, and thanks for showcasing this run for us there, Konception.
I appreciate that. Yeah, thank you guys for having me for not 1 but 2 runs, and hope to see you guys in the future.
Yeah, certainly. Can't wait.
Good run, guys. GG.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We're going to take a brief intermission, folks, as we get the next run good to go. So thank you for your patience, and hope you enjoy the rest of the marathon. I hope everybody is having a wonderful morning, afternoon, and night, wherever you are. This is your host, Mash. For the next run we have coming up is Crimson Clover World Ignition. So this is going to be an unlimited mode exhibition being done by Infire. And just as a reminder, we are raising money for Save the Children. So every bit, every donation, and every subscription is going directly to Save the Children. And just as a little bit of a reminder that according to the Save the Children reports that have been released this week, it was revealed that the most disadvantaged countries in the U.S. are mostly communities of color, and in nearly all are rural, poor, or concentrated into the south. The bottom-ranked countries are also in the same areas and are being hit hardest by the effects of the coronavirus pandemic. Country rankings in the third U.S. complement to the Global Childhood Report are based on the 4 factors that childhood shortage, and hunger. Dropping out of school, teenage pregnancy, early death, and due to poor health, accident, murder, or suicide. Among more than 2,600 countries examined and rank, over 90% of the bottom-ranked countries are rural. Nearly 2/3 are in the south, and 3/4 contain non-white majority populations. Children living in the bottom-ranked countries die at rates of up to 5 times those children in the highest-ranked countries in the state. They are also up to 3 times as likely to struggle without hunger, 14 times as likely to drop out of high school, and the girls are 26 times more likely to get pregnant within their teens. The national findings have also revealed that 1 in every 8 children across America experience shockingly high rates of hunger, dropping out of school, and teenage pregnancy, and/or child death. So, Save the Children is calling on American policymakers at all levels of government to work together to robustly support children regardless of where they live, craft strong child-centric policies, and provide sufficient resources and create an appropriate environment for relative early childhood programs and interventions to flourish. Betsy Azario, Vice President of the U.S. Programs and Advocacy of Save the Children, had this to say: "A child does not decide where to live or where the child grows up, should not dictate their his or her future. We need to target new investments for the most vulnerable children who are being left out, because child should not be left to chance. Raising a more successful generation of children will benefit our nation and the world for years to come. Today's children are tomorrow's engineers, nurses, teachers, firefighters, entrepreneurs, inventors, humanitarians, and simply put it, leaders." We at NASA Marathon agree wholeheartedly with this message and hope that you will donate to Save the Children, continue to pursue these goals. If you'd like to learn more about the issues and how to Save the Children is helping to further systematic change, you can read their report linked in chat. And I will drop that link for you guys as well. But yeah, super important, and I hope you guys can continue to enjoy the rest of NASA Marathon with us as we try to raise more money for Save the Children. Thank you very much, and with that, I believe we're ready for the next run.